Hey guys, welcome back to the Homestead Adventure. Today I'm going to share with you the best jerky recipe ever. This recipe I've used for beef, venison, turkey, and rabbit, and today I will be using venison. So the first thing we're going to do is make the marinade. So we are going to go with 1 cup of low sodium soy sauce. So I apologize for the dark background. I am still figuring out lighting and all of that stuff, but my husband got me one of those halo lights for Christmas, and I'm very excited I get to use it today. But I tried putting like the normal lights on in the kitchen and I just got totally washed out, so no matter what I did. So we have a big mess back here because we are remodeling the kitchen right now. So one of these days, the background is going to look better. We're gonna go 1/4 cup of Worcestershire sauce. Sorry, I am never confident with how I pronounce that. Forgive me, please. Okay, 1/4 cup of this Worcestershire sauce. All right, I think I got it right. 1/4 cup. Ooh. 2 teaspoons of liquid smoke, Stubbs liquid smoke, or whatever kind of liquid smoke you like. 2 teaspoons. 1 and 2. 4 teaspoons of black pepper. Now you can use coarsely ground, freshly ground, or just regular ground black pepper. 3 and 4. All right. 2 teaspoons of onion powder. And 2. 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. And 1/4 cup of brown sugar. I should have mentioned I am using 3 pounds of venison. So if you're using more or less meat, you can modify the marinade recipe for how much meat you have. All right, so we made our marinade. If you need that recipe again, it is 1 cup of low sodium soy sauce, 1/4 cup of Worcestershire sauce, 4 teaspoons of black pepper, 2 teaspoons liquid smoke, 2 teaspoons onion powder, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, and 1/4 cup of brown sugar. So now we are going to mix this all up. And I want to tell you, I'm actually really proud of this recipe because it is my favorite jerky recipe of all time that I've ever made. I've tried many different recipes, and this one is just so flavorful, and the brown sugar makes it kind of sticky and sweet, and it's really good. And like I said, I use it with many different types of meat, and it's pretty much my own recipe because I did find a recipe online, but it was still a little salty, so I took some things out and added some things, and so now it's basically, I created this recipe, and I'm really proud of that because I don't create a lot of recipes. I just kind of follow things online. All right, so after we've made our marinade, we're just gonna set that bowl aside for now. We're going to take our meat, whatever you got. Like I said, I've got venison here. And we're going to cut it into thin strips. I like mine really thin. You can cut them as thin or thick as you want, within reason. You don't want them too thick. And you also don't want them really, really paper thin, otherwise they're gonna get crunchy. So I'm gonna show you how thin I like mine. You can make them a little thicker. So this right here is about the thickness I like mine, about 1/8 inch thick. And as we cut them, just gonna throw it in our bowl of marinade. With venison, you wanna make sure you're cutting as much fat off as you can because venison fat does not taste good. Same with rabbit. But if you're doing beef jerky, just leave that fat on because it's really good. Helps flavor it. It kind of stings because I cut off a little chunk of my thumb while I was cooking today. That's what happens when you make things from scratch. Sometimes there are accidents. So now we got all the meat slices in the bowl, and the next step is just mix the meat around so the marinade gets on all of it. All right, all of the meat is covered. Our next step is to put plastic wrap over the top and put it in the fridge overnight. So now we're just going to put this in the fridge and continue in the morning. So our meat has been in the fridge overnight in the marinade, and now it's time to put it in the dehydrator. And looking at mine, I probably would do a double batch of the marinade next time because I do like it a little extra saucy. And all the meat kind of soaked up the marinade, but it's still going to taste really good. So this is what it looks like. And we're just going to put it on the dehydrator in a single layer. And you can use your oven for this if you don't have a dehydrator, but make sure that your oven gets down to at least 175 degrees. Mine only gets down to 200, so it's not really suitable for dehydrating. I have tried to dehydrate in my oven, and everything just kind of gets crunchy and a little burnt, so I don't do that anymore. So if your oven gets low enough, you can do this in the oven. Otherwise, I recommend a dehydrator. This one was not very expensive. I think it was like $40 or something like that. At some point, I'm hoping to get a much larger one so that I can do a lot more dehydrating at once. So now all of our jerky is in the dehydrator. I have 6 trays going, and I did have just a little bit left. And I will be putting these on the bottom rack as I start taking some of the jerky out when it's done. Our next step is to just plug it in and put the top on. And it's going to take anywhere from 3 to 6 hours to dehydrate. And some of them will be ready earlier than others. So it's just kind of checking on it and taking them out as they get done. And I will show you what they look like when they're done. So it's been almost 4 hours, and some of the jerky is starting to get done. As you can see here, when you break it apart, it's not slimy in the middle at all, but it doesn't just like break. There's still a little bit of give to it, and that's how you know when it's ready. And we're just going to take all the pieces that are ready. So this one here is not done. As you can see, it's a little chewy, squishy yet because it's a thicker piece. Now that I've started pulling some off, I'm going to take the rest of the ones that I have in the fridge and put them on a single layer on the bottom rack. That way the juices don't drip onto the ones that are already drying, and just continue drying until they're all done. And that's it. So here is some of the jerky that is done. We still have plenty in the dehydrator, and this is what it looks like, and it is delicious. I might just eat this whole thing right now, honestly. So that's it. It's super easy, not a lot of hands-on time, and crazy delicious. So like I said, you can make this with venison, which is what I did, beef, turkey, rabbit. I use it for basically every jerky recipe. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you on the next adventure. Bye guys. All right, so 1 cup of low sodium soy sauce. I'm gonna go 1/2 cup of Worcestershire. Worcestershire. Okay. And our next step is to just put some, what's it called? Our next step is to put some plastic wrap over the top and put it in. Our next step is to put plastic wrap over the. It's good. All right.